Hello there and welcome to the Bearded Peacock. It's my channel where we talk all things Leeds United. I'm of course George. Welcome along to the channel, everybody. Remember, before we get going, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content that I'm putting out. But now that's done, it's a preview. We're on the road again, Leeds United in London. Again, London calling again for Leeds for the second time in just a few days. We're at Fulham on the midweek in the cup. We are at their neighbours Chelsea in the Premier League on Saturday. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, the second 3 p.m. kickoff in a row for Leeds. And yeah, Chelsea then. We'll look at the team news first of all for both teams. Then I'll try and predict the lineups for the game. And then, I'm going to do like a look at the referee. And then I'm also going to do like a travel pack for whoever's going, you know what I mean? Just a quick, that'll be the away games from now on. Just a quick sort of travel pack, how long it's going to take to get there, a bit of something when you're there, that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that. But Chelsea then, um, going off the injury news and things like that, we'll go with Leeds first and foremost because everybody, well, majority of people watching, of course, will be Leeds United fans. So, yeah, Javi Gracia, we've learned over his short time in charge so far that he doesn't give too much away in terms of injury news and things like that. He did touch upon the two up front ideas, said it was an option, but I don't think he'll use that option until Rodrigo's back, if I'm being totally honest. So hopefully he'll be back in a few weeks. Maybe we will see Rodrigo and Jorginho Ruta up front together. But I don't think he's going to change much. He's very, very tight-lipped on injuries, like I said, doesn't give much away. So we're kind of guessing at the team here, but I think he might he might just go with the same, If Voba's fit, maybe Voba comes in. He had that little slight knock, didn't he? But I think, well, we don't know, but I assume he's fit again. So I'll give my predicted lineup after I've sort of given you the news on Chelsea's injury. So Chelsea, Graham Potter was speaking about Chelsea's problems, really. Obviously, we know about the problems. We will cover the form of the two sides in just a short while. But they're under extreme pressure, aren't they? Chelsea spent all that money in the winter window and it's just not coming off for them at the moment. The injuries have got injuries again for this game. Thiago Silva's out, the centre back, for 6 weeks. Reece James is out for this one. Mason Mount. Mason Mount is a big one for Leeds United to not be available for this one. Likes a goal against Leeds. He won't get one in this game because he won't be available. He's got a slight injury. Um, I think both goalkeepers are out. Mendy's out, but I think Kepa, they've still got to follow the protocol, the concussion protocol. So I think he's out. So we're looking at potentially a first. I think it's a first Premier League game for Marcus Bentinelli, the former Fulham goalkeeper, who's third choice, but he's only played once in his whole time at Chelsea, having signed the summer before last 2021, the summer of 2021. I think he might actually play here. So yeah, there's a few big injury worries and big decisions for Graham Potter to make. Obviously, Kante is still out. I think Kovacic has come back in. Pulisic is still out, so there will be no American reunion with the likes of Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, and now, of course, Weston McKennie. So Pulisic's out, so he's been out for a bit. So they've got injury problems, but there's such a huge squad, and any which way you cook it for Chelsea, it's absolute quality all over the pitch. It's not coming to fruition at the moment, and I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans almost willing Leeds United to beat them. We're in that, we were in that same position not that long ago, wanting a manager sacked, and almost, you never want to see your team defeated. But if that means a new change in management, a new hope, rejuvenation of the team, then it's short term pain for long term gain, isn't it? And must admit, I've seen more than I expected. Chelsea fans sort of saying, "Go on, Leeds, give us a beating on Saturday, and let's hope the manager is, goes as a consequence." Are you one of those Chelsea fans? Let me know in the comments there if you find yourself watching this, and how concerned are you about your form overall, not just in the Premier League. But we'll talk about that in a second. We'll go with the predicted lineups. For Leeds, I think it'd be pretty much the same. Meslier in goal, left back Firpo, who's been rejuvenated himself over the past month or so. Centre backs, if Vober's fit, he comes back in for Christensen alongside Robin Koch, and then Ayling goes out on the right. I think we'll see the 4-3-3 again with Weston McKennie, Mark Rocker, and Tyler Adams in the midfield. That means a front three of Willy Gnonto, Georgino Rutter in the centre forward position, and Crescencio Somerville out on the right. Let me know if you'd like to see a two up front scenario. Patrick Bamford will be on the bench, of course, if the game's not going well. I only see if the game's not going our way, then Gracia might be tempted to throw both Bamford on as well as Rutter, but I do think Rutter will start this game. Going for Chelsea then, it's almost impossible to predict. Graham Potter's been faffing around constantly with his team, and it's such a huge team sort of numbers wide, and it's full of quality, like I said. Any which way you pair the Chelsea, you construct the Chelsea team, it's absolute full of quality that can on their day beat us hands down, beat anybody hands down. It's packed full of absolute quality, but it's just not been there for Potter at all. Injuries at different times, but generally, like I said, the squad's so large and so full, packed full of quality. You've got to be doing absolutely way better than how he is doing. And for me, it's a case of the players just of not playing for him. Perhaps they want him gone. I've seen it said before, but a big manager ego needs to manage those big egos in the team. They've spent so much money over the course of not just in the summer but in the winter window as well. The likes of Mudeki, Mudrik, João Felix, Badiashile, the centre back. Enzo Fernandez, of course. They've absolutely spent so much money. It's just not working. And Chelsea fans, where do you go next? Is it Potter gone if you lose this one? I think it probably is. And I think, like I said just there, I think a lot of fans would be quite happy about that. Not losing the game, but the fact that if it is losing the game and Potter goes, then it's a winning situation perhaps. And Potter is a great manager. It's just not worked for him at Chelsea, and I don't see it ever working at Chelsea for him. Unfortunately for him, he'll do well at another team, I'm sure. But yeah, if you're looking at the Chelsea team, obviously, like I said, I think the two main goalkeepers are out. Anybody want to fact check me on that? But I think it's correct. So we might see Marcus Bentinelli in goal. I think a left back of Ben Chilwell, who's off form, isn't he? Really hasn't really been able to hit form over the last bit of time with Chelsea. Centre backs, then I think it'll probably be Koulibaly, who will cover the reverse game at Ellen Road in a few minutes, but he had a shocking game. Obviously, got himself sent off in the latter stages. I think he'll be partnered by Wesley Fofana. And then on the right side, I think he'll put Trevor Chalobah. He'll go with a 4-2-3-1. He seems to like that formation at the moment, with the two in the centre being Enzo Fernandez, who's obviously a fantastic player, but he's been paired with like Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher, players who aren't up to the same standard. I think maybe Kovacic will partner him, and that's a little bit better, isn't he? He's a quality player. On the left side, I think it'll be Raheem Sterling. In the middle, João Felix, and on the right, Mudrik. I think will be on that side. He's probably going to put Havertz up front. I'd go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but he doesn't seem to want to play Aubameyang, who's obviously been excluded from the Champions League squad. I think everybody's going to be excluded from the Champions League squad in the way of Chelsea's concerns, because I think they're going to lose, aren't they, and be out to Dortmund, which would be terrible. And surely at that stage, maybe Potter does get the boot if he doesn't already have gone by next week's midweek Champions League second leg in London. So that's my predicted teams. Going on to form, then I've spoke about it briefly there. Obviously, we're not on good form, but we're on better form than Chelsea, who, obviously Leeds only one win in 11 league games. Not very good, but that is the latest of those games. We've won, of course, in the Premier League against Southampton. Chelsea, unbelievably bad form. I've never known form like this from Chelsea. I think it's the worst form since 94-95 season. They've no wins in 6 games. That's all competitions. No win in 5 Premier League games. The last win was a 1-0 home win against Crystal Palace in January, and that was their only win in 10 as well. 2 wins over 15 games in all competitions, and not many scored either. I think 2 goals scored in the last 6 games. It's not good enough at all, given the amount of quality that they have in the squad. It's pathetic, really. 6 games without a win. Now, the last 3 they've lost in all competitions, including to bottom of the league Southampton at Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago. What's going wrong, Chelsea fans? It's really, really not going well at all. They sit in mid-table. I think with a win here at Stamford Bridge for Leeds, we go only 6 points behind them, which isn't that many if you consider how tight the table is, really. So that's a form. Obviously, like I said, we're not in good form, really, but we're coming off the back of a league win, which has obviously done the confidence incredibly, an incredible lot of good, with Hadi Gracia's first Premier League game, first game in charge, winning it. Obviously lost in the cup. We're hopefully getting back to winning ways. It's the best chance Leeds have had for a long, long time. There's no wins at Stamford Bridge since 1999, when a Stephen McPhail double earned Leeds a 2-0 win in London. Obviously, going on 24 years ago, and that's 6 without a win in all those years. Obviously, games between the two have been quite scarce. Of recent years, obviously, has happened on more of a frequent basis. But we've drawn one of them games and we've lost the other 5. It's a great chance for Leeds United to get back-to-back wins in the Premier League since November. And the referee for this game is Michael Oliver, the elite, amongst the elite of the Premier League referees and amongst the elite of the English games referees. He's refereed at the World Cup. He's a Champions League referee, 38-year-old, a Newcastle fan, isn't he? Obviously, everybody knows that. Well-documented Newcastle United fan. He's refed us twice this season so far. One was the 2-1 win, our last away victory at Anfield, the 2-1 win in October. The other one was the defeat away at Aston Villa, 2-1 defeat at Villa Park. That was his only 2 games he has refereed Leeds United this season, but he's highly rated. Obviously, the man in the middle on Saturday. Going on then to, how you guys can get there if you're going on Saturday then. Obviously, it's London. It's a 3-hour, 46-minute trip from Ellen Road. Obviously, I know people will go, from far and wide to Stamford Bridge on Saturday in the Leeds United persuasion. But just for my, I don't know, I'm not going to list where, everybody's coming from, because I don't know that. It's just easier to say it from Ellen Road. So from Ellen Road to Stamford Bridge, 3 hours and 46 minutes in a car. It'll take you a similar time on a coach. like a megabus. If you're going on a megabus, it starts from about £17 from Leeds to London. 4 hours it will take you. If you're going on a train to London on Saturday, it'll take about 2.5 hours from Leeds to London, either King's Cross or St Pancras. Your onward journey to Stamford Bridge, if you're going by a taxi, would take 40 minutes. If you're going by tube, it would be probably a little bit quicker, and you want to get off at Fulham Broadway, and that's the closest stop to Stamford Bridge. It's about a half an hour walk from there. And if you want to walk, you've got more time coming off the train from the stations. It's about a 2 hour, just short of a 2 hour walk from both stations. But you might have more time. You might want to take in the London sights. Obviously, if you were there on Tuesday, it's a bit of a deja vu. Or maybe you've stayed down there for a few days, made a sort of a week stay in London, perhaps. Let me know in the comments if you're going there tomorrow and how you see this one going. Yeah, like I said, it's a big, big chance for Leeds United this to get all 3 points, come away with 3 points for the first time away from home, like I said, since October. Big chance for Leeds, big pressure on Chelsea. Can we go and do it? Let me know in the comments there below. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you're thinking of the new setup to my previews. But thanks for watching, like I say, marching on together. Let's hope the lads can bring home the 3 points on Saturday. Thanks a lot. See you on the next one.